Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with She Cruises. Welcome to this site, to our new venture as She Cruises. It's for women who love to cruise. And we write articles about all kinds of topics related to packing and preparing and the cruise experience, the art of cruising. So thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate your support. Check out all our channels, shecruises.com, Facebook page, and of course here YouTube. I'd love you to subscribe to the channel if you like it, and keep informed of what we're talking about. But today I wanted to chat real quickly about an article that we wrote on shore excursions. Now, part of the beauty, the magic, the wonder of cruising is that you get to go to new places. You get to visit new towns, new cities, and then go a little bit into the environment. You normally have maybe 7 or 8 hours in a port where you can go and visit the highlights, the places that that particular city is known for. Now, there's two ways you can do this. One is you can book with the cruise company, and they of course have got lots of great ideas. They've been doing it for years. They know where to go. They hire the buses and the transportation. They have lunch perhaps arranged. So if you book it with the cruise company, you're going to get everything taken care of for you. And so there's plenty of absolute pluses to doing it that way, because you, like I said, it's all taken care of. You're in a new place. You have no idea about the local currency, the local, habits of food, where to go. So that if you're feeling in any way like you need to just have a bit of a security blanket, then that's the thing to do. The other thing, and this is so important, underscore, is they get you back to the ship on time. Now, if they've got delays with traffic, the ship will always wait for its own buses for the people that are coming back on cruises or on shore excursions that they have booked. So you're always safe. You're never going to miss the boat. If you go off and do something on your own, which is the second option, yes, you're going to have so many benefits because you'll be on your own and you can do some amazing things, but you've got to get back to the ship. And you've got to get back in time for it to leave. They always tell you exactly when you're supposed to be back, and they will leave without you. You know the horror stories, you've heard them. And they have to, because they have to keep a schedule. And so if you're even 10 minutes late, your ship will have gone, and you will then need to make plans to get to the next port. And so that's the thing about shore excursions, that you organize for yourself. Now, a lot of people, and there's actually two ways of doing a shore excursion like this. One is you can actually research all the places that you want to go, the highlights of that town, and then get a taxi or a bus, and just do it on your own. If you're a single person, I would say maybe find a friend to go with you, or find another woman or a guy that is going to the same places and will accompany you. But if you're going on your own, that's cool too. But just be careful that you research the places you're going. You know where the transportation is going to take you and how you're going to get back. And of course, the other thing you can always do is hire a company like Viable, or I can't remember all the names, but companies that will meet you at the ship, and then just do your own custom cruise. Now, I remember our excursion. Now, I remember once, I always normally do the cruise excursion because even though it's a little bit more expensive, I just like that security of getting back. But there are times where it's really fun, and you know the place, and you can go. For example, if you're in Rome, or your ship is, I can never pronounce the name of that, Cittavia, it's the port for Rome, you know that you can get from there to the Acropolis, to the Trevi Fountain, to even Pompeii. Well, Pompeii's in Naples, but you know what's in Rome. You know that you can make it back to the ship if you know the town. I mean, a lot of people do know the city. They've been there before, and they say, oh, I don't want to do the plan thing. I'll just go and do my own. So make sure, though, that you do all the research, the cruise ship location, like where you've got to come back to, the currency, check out any security issues. There's a Department of State in the US always does a good job of giving you alerts if there's any kind of activity or concern. That's kind of an important thing. And there's another site actually I wanted to mention called What's in Port. And what'sinport.com is a really cool site. They tell you what to do in a port. So if you want to do something on your own, they have, I think, 1,200 ports that they've covered. And they just tell you, if you're in this port, here are the 3 things you might want to go and check. They give you the buses information, the transportation, maybe the favorite restaurants. So you can really do, kind of a very customized do-it-yourself excursion, but with a bit more of a security blanket. Now, remember, recently I was on a cruise and I went to Malta, to Valletta. And I had been to Valletta before, so I didn't want to do the bus excursions that they had organized. But I knew I wanted to go to Medina, and I also wanted to go to Mosta. And I had done the research because Mosta is a really interesting little town. It's got a beautiful chapel and doors. It's got some amazing doors, which is one of my passions when I travel, to take door pictures. And also Medina is a magical city, a town. Well, I don't even know what it's categorized, but it's just beautiful. And so I got on the public buses. I timed myself. I left myself lots of time. I planned to be back at the ship 1 hour before it left. We had, I think, 8 hours total, but I knew I was going to be back 1 hour before, even, bearing in mind some potential traffic there's so many things that can go wrong. Hey, but you can't be worried all the time, right? You've got to take a few chances now and then. And I did that in Malta. I saw Medina. I was there 2 hours. I went to Mosta 2 hours. I had lunch. I took the train back, or the buses back. It was great. Oh, another thing, I must remember this to tell you this, is hop on, hop off buses. I better put that in the article, because these are a great way to see a city. When we got to Bergen, we were only there for, I think, 4 hours. And right at the pier, when you got off the boat, the ship, there was a hop on, hop off bus. It knew we were there. And it took you 2 hours around the town, the city. And that, of course, they knew people only had 4 or 5 hours, but it was so lovely to see the whole place in 2 hours. And then I could still walk around and wander in the town as well. So that's another thing, is the hop on, hop off buses, and there's lots of choice. They're everywhere. They're everywhere now. Next thing is public transport. I've mentioned. Look at the shore embarkation and disembarkation times. Again, one thing I always do is I take a picture. I take a picture of everything when I'm on a cruise, the time for the events. I don't carry pieces of paper around with me. So I always put everything on my camera, and I always take bus schedules, transportation numbers, emergency numbers. I take a picture of them on my phone. And so that's one way to, look at make sure you get back at, was it 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock? I can't remember. It was 3 o'clock. So that's the second thing. Another thing to remember, and this is kind of an important thing, when you're doing a short excursion, you are going to be overwhelmed. If you go online and type in Florence, it'll be 10 things to do in Florence. And yes, if you had 3 days, that would be perfect. But if you have 8 hours, what do you choose? What are the 3 things that you absolutely choose? And this prioritizing is so important. Even if you think to yourself, oh my goodness, I really wanted to see number 4 or 5. You really have to be careful about the timing on a cruise. So just make sure that you know what are the 3 things that you absolutely will prioritize and really want in your heart to do. So once you've got a plan, you've got your timings, you've got your transportation schedules and so on, you've got the embarkation times, you know what the schedule is for the ship, then you can just go have a great time. You can just go have fun. And this is what I think is super, super important, that you don't feel restricted by the shore excursions organized by the ship. Make the best of those if that is your only option. But if you've got a little adventurous spirit, get out there and do your own do-it-yourself shore excursion. Now, I would love to know, have you ever done this? If you have, I would love to know what you did, how you planned it, whether it turned out the way you were hoping. Did you have any unexpected things that happened? Or do you prefer just quite simply to do the shore excursions organized by the cruise line? I think there's some great choices, and I'd love to know what other people have done, what you've experienced. And again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this community, and always welcome your feedback on places you want me to write about or things that you're interested in. And hope to see you on a She Cruises cruise in the future. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.